right. So I think, yep. So the live stream's working. So, well, thank you everybody for your patience. Glad to have you join us wherever you're coming from. Well, like me in the US, towards the end of the day, or first thing in the morning if you're coming joining us from APAC. Yeah, excited to sort of kick things off. This is uh, the meetup. The purpose of the meetup is to have a conversation about different project ideas as people are getting started with the hackathon. So I want to welcome everybody. Hopefully, you can see the slideshow that I'm sharing. Um, First of all, my name is Ray Paik. I'm a community manager at PinCap, and really excited about this hackathon event where a lot of people have already registered. It's been a little over a week. So I'm happy to have a lot of my colleagues as a panelist. One is Shishin. I'll let him introduce himself in a few minutes, and also our co-founder and CTO, Ed. Appreciate you joining us, Ed, while you're on the road. I know you're also very passionate about this hackathon and want to sort of help people generate some interesting ideas on types of applications that might be interesting for the event.
Yeah,
So, go ahead, Ed. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
no
you off.
problem, no problem. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love to do that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so a couple of quick logistical notes that I want to point out. Um, we have if you haven't used the Zoom webinar before, there's a separate Q&A tab in addition to the chat tab. It would be great if you can use a Q&A tab to post your questions anytime. I mean, you don't have to wait until the end to post questions. Like if you have any questions as any one of us is speaking, feel free to post your question. That sort of helps us keep track of what questions are answered and which haven't been answered. So that would be appreciated. And also, the slide in the recording, the question came up on Discord earlier in the day. The recording will be posted, especially now that live streaming is working. It should be posted on our YouTube channel. So I'll send the link out. We'll send the link out shortly after the meetup, so that you can reference our discussion points. So you don't have to furiously take down notes or try to take pictures of the screen. And we'll also try to post a slide on the meetup.com page that we have. So I want you to rest easy. Just enjoy the conversation and the discussions that we're about to have, and not worry too much about what's in the slides, and try to capture everything. So in terms of agenda, I mean, you may have seen this as you're registering for the event. Um, I'll give a quick 5-minute overview of the hackathon in case you haven't registered yet, or just even if you registered, a couple of reminders on resources that you can use during the event. And Shisheng, he's our product manager for serverless. Like I mentioned, I'll let him introduce himself in a minute, but he'll give us a quick tour of serverless and some interesting applications that you may not be aware of, to see some ideas of some of the project ideas that Ed will talk about. And like I said, we'll make sure that your questions are answered towards the end. But anytime you have any questions, I mean, feel free to post them on the Q&A tab, and even during the discussions, if it's a simple question, we'll be able to answer them online. Um, so, quick overview of the hackathon. I mean, we had our actually first event last year, but it was in China only in person. So this is the first time it's global in nature, and we're doing it virtually. So anybody, no matter where you're located, can participate. So we're very excited about this. I mean, you've probably seen the hackathon page. If you haven't, there's a link there. Just an event that kicked off last week and goes on for about 2 months, with $36,000 in total prizes. I'll go through the breakdown of the prizes in a minute. But we have some exciting prizes, and hopefully, I wish everybody luck in claiming these awards. And last time I checked, we're getting close to 600 participants already. So We're very excited about this. If you register already, you're in fine company with a lot of people. Hopefully, it wouldn't surprise me if we cross like a 600 threshold in the next day or so. So we welcome everyone, and then we hope to see this number grow. I mentioned the prizes. I mean, here's the list of them. I won't go through all of them. I mean, obviously, there's like a first place to seventh place prizes, ranging from $1,500 to over $13,000 for the top prize winners. But we also have some special awards and other incentive awards that community members can vote on, like top 5 idea makers, storytellers, for example. Those are, those I believe will be voted on Discord. We want to encourage like community participation, not just in terms of submitting projects, but also having a voice in, who made interesting submissions. And we'll look at things like, we have separate awards for best user experience, social impact, for example. So we're very excited about this, and Vercel is a sponsor of this event. So we, in particular, we want to point them out for contributing to the hackathon with judging, and also contributing to the award pool that we have. So some of the resources, you may have seen this. I already mentioned the Discord channel that we started. If you haven't already, go set yourself up in Discord. Use this for finding teammates, event announcements. I mean, we have another meetup coming up next week that'd be pretty interesting for a lot of the hackathon participants. FAQs, like how you can get help. So we have various channels for those. So I mean, this course should be your first point of entry if you have any questions, or if you get stuck somehow while you're working on things. And other resources, you'll find them on the hackathon page. Things like developer guides, sample apps, like a public data sets. And I'm not sure how many of you have seen this. We have this thing called the TiDB Playground. So you'll get a flavor of our key features and benefits without having to like install anything or create a cloud account. There should be enough resources, hopefully, to get you going. If not, I mean, feel free to reach out to us for help, particularly on Discord. All right, so I'm gonna turn things over to Shin. Shin, do you want to share the slides, or do you want me to keep sharing the slides? I'll leave that up to you. But
yeah, could you give me the permission to share the slides?
I'll stop sharing, and then I'll let you share your screen. Cool.
Nice. And I will turn on my camera.
Awesome.
Looks like I cannot start a video because the host has stopped it.
Really?
It doesn't matter. I will try my best to try the button again later, but I will start my section first. So hopefully you guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So hey everyone, nice to see everybody here. My name is Xin, and I'm the product manager of TiDB Serverless and the developer experience here at the PingCap. I'm really excited to be here to meet you all and give you a quick introduction about the TiDB Serverless. I believe every one of you has already saw the name of TiDB Serverless during the Hackathon registration, or you have probably tried it in the past few days. And I'm here to give you some ideas how easy it could be if you build apps with it. TiDB Serverless is designed to take care of the heavy lifting. With all the cloud database management features, we ensure your data is secure, scalable, and managed efficiently. It also can handle both OLTP and OLAP workloads. The ultimate one database that serves all your database needs. So the question is, what do you need to do? So basically, it's quite simple. Your responsibility: schema design, query construction and optimization. And yes, we integrated it with GPT. And we are the first database solution provider that integrate OpenAI, and you can generate SQL queries with natural language, got the optimal performance on top of our TiDB cloud. And of course, app development and deployment, which is the best part of our daily life. The rest of us on the right is the rest of the most complicated work is on us. So let's consider a real world example of where TiDB Serverless can shine. Last year, we were tasked to build a scalable real-time GitHub Insight web app, which we named the Open Source Software Insight, OSS Insight. We need to make it work in 1 week. It's just like a hackathon project. This was no small feat. We were dealing with huge data volume of 6 terabytes, over 6 billion rows of data, and it was growing in real time. We had to serve mixed workloads, handling both online transaction and analytical queries. And we were also daydreaming as every hackers last year. What if this become a superstar project in the future? What if we got featured on Hacker News and got unpredictable traffic spikes from it? And it did happen. Usually we have 2,000 page views per day, but at the day we went on top of the Hacker News, we got 7 times traffic, and we successfully handled it without manual intervention. With any other solutions, it might have been overwhelming. On the left bottom, I put picture there, very typical kind of solution architecture design for data intensive applications. It is the correct answer if you are in a system design interview. I have been preparing this kind of job interviews a lot of times. You have to deal with sharding, read-write replica, handling real-time analytical processing with multiple ETLs and the Redis cache. I already have mechanical memories about this so-called best practice. But with TiDB Serverless, this might have the game has been changed. We were able to handle these challenges effectively with just one database. So you can click the link to visit OSS Insight here, and you can also check the source code. It's fully open source. And let me quickly click that link. So here's the homepage of OSS Insight. Once we have the initial launch, the concept has been widely adopted and welcomed by the open source community. And we have been adding a lot of features on top of it. You can see we have real-time data coming here in every second. We have the trending repositories. What are the top repositories, top projects in the last 24 hours? And once you click each of the repository, you got the statistics data about the pull requests, the stars, who contribute the project, where they come from. That helps you to make technical decision if you want to start a new project built on top of open source technology. And recently we just also integrated with OpenAI. There is a GitHub Data Explorer tab for you to ask questions about GitHub projects and GitHub contributors. So we have some demo kind of questions here. Once you click one of the question, let's try what are the top 10 vendors of database. So it will try to understand your question. Like in GitHub, what are the top 10 vendors of database related repositories? And it gives you the SQL queries here if you want to check it out, the details, and directly give you the visualization based on the star rankings of the top 10, database companies. And that's great. We have PingCap here. I was a little bit worried before I asked this question, but it looks like we are a leading company. That's nice. So yeah, feel free to try all the fancy visualization, both transactional and analytical functionalities, and the different types of visualizations here. And definitely check out the GitHub repository because it's fully open source. That could be a great reference if you want to just learn some of the patterns from it. And again, TiDB Serverless is not just about handling big data and complex database tasks. It is all about making application development as effortless as possible. With TiDB Serverless, you can spin up your free cluster in just 10 seconds, and you just visit that link and try the experience by yourself. And once the database is up and running, you can connect with your preferred database management tools, IDE or editor. We support a wide range of tools, including dbeaver, DataGrip with code, and any MySQL compatible client. So you can work in the environment you are most comfortable with. If you are just getting started, we have a sample app gallery for you to explore. Start a Hello World app or get inspired by the apps built by us, by the TiDB ecosystem. And you can also leverage our great partner ecosystem integrations with Vercel, GitHub, OpenAI, AutoGPT, eCharts, and many, many more to make your application development easier. TiDB Serverless is designed to meet where you are, providing you with the tools and the resources you need to develop your applications effortlessly and effectively. Again, we take the heavy lifting, and I look forward to see your imagination and innovation in this hackathon. Cool. That's the end of my part.
All right, thank you, Shen. I'm glad I got the camera thing to be resolved somehow. But
nice.
that's my bad. I for some reason when I set up the webinar, I didn't allow panelists to use videos, but now we see that too. So
yeah, I'm not an AI bot. I'm a real person.
Right. It's a real person.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Ed. Well, welcome. Glad I was able to fix the camera issue that I created for myself. But please introduce yourself and tell us what you're excited about. What the hackathon and Shen, you can stop sharing and I'll share my screen. So.
Cool. Hi. Hello everyone. This is Ed. I'm the co-founder and CTO of PingCap, and actually I'm still thinking I'm still a very hands-on engineer. So coding every day, playing around with serverless. So basically, to me, like every day is a hackathon day for trying our serverless product. So yeah, so I think the key to of our like TiDB serverless is the serverless. Imagine that you have an out of the box solution, and you can access from everywhere, and more importantly, you don't need to worry about the consistency, transaction backup restore. Everything out of the box, and it is a SQL database. So to me, the first idea will be, the first idea come out to my mind is something edge related. For example, like I have a branch of Raspberry Pi, the small computer, microcomputer, something like that, and I always want to, using my Raspberry Pi to build some small edge application. So the first idea would be like maybe we can use TiDB Serverless as the central storage for like the edge computing framework like WebAssembly, or some building some interesting application on your embedded device, but the actual data is actually stored in the centralized TiDB Serverless cluster. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Yeah, this. So I would say like we have partners like Marcel. So I think that also is kind of edge computing framework. So maybe we can also build something to with Marcel to make TiDB Serverless work well with Marcel. Yeah, this the first part of the idea, which is edge related. Yeah, and another kind of another category of the the idea was, I'm the infrastructure engineer. I I build a lot of infrastructure tools or infrastructure software like database, like distributed queue, or metadata storage. So I'm always thinking, hey, if I have a always on and database, and you can access from everywhere. So maybe I can use TiDB Serverless as a, you use as a pub sub service, or use it like a distributed, the storage of a distributed queue. But this distributed queue can, your application can access from everywhere. That will be interesting. Yeah, so imagine that you can build a Kafka proxy, or build a job queue API on top of SQL interface, but the SQL interface is actually provided by TiDB Serverless. That will be super cool. So actually, I have already implemented some gadget, or the POC project of this idea, and that's, I think it's totally doable. Yeah, it's the some job queue, distributed log, or a subpub, and maybe we can build some etcd API on top of TiDB Serverless. That would be fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's any comments, and I think this is a final discussion, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's good. I mean, I know you and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of the ideas you rattled off are like all like infrastructure related. I mean, that's why I
Yeah.
chose a graphic that I did for this slide. But yeah, I mean, those are like some interesting ideas. Yeah, I mean, edge devices is sort of in a similar vein, not exactly like infrastructure software, but I mean, there are certainly a lot of edge applications that are available with 5G and all that, and having a
Yeah.
like a TiDB serverless, it would be interesting. But
yeah, imagine that. For
yeah,
example, the edge computing thing. For example, you have multiple Raspberry Pi.
hmm
But you want to figure out a way to make this small device communicate to each other. So I think using TiDB as a bridge, or the communicate hub, that would be interesting. You can easily to communicate from one device to another device. You don't need to worry about a lot of complicated network setting. Yeah, you can just use TiDB Serverless as a as a bridge. Yeah,
hmm
it's a very interesting use case. Yeah, because you don't need the super high throughput or super low latency. It's just like sharing some configuration, sending the text. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah. Oh,
Cool.
speaking of that, I come up with another idea. Uh, yeah, that's kind of crazy idea, I would say. um, TiDB serverless, we also have an open API. You don't need to, create cluster using our web platform. You can use the open API to basically to create a cluster, importing data. So we have a bunch of the open API for our serverless tier. We create this open API for building our CLI tools. And I'm a big fan of CLI tools, I would say. So the more CLI tools are more welcome. Even though we have an official, the client official CLI tool, maybe the community can use our open API to build another version or the better version. I'm super excited to see that. Yeah, the CLI tools. And another crazy idea is, I'm a big fan of MySQL. I love MySQL particle, but I see a lot of engineers they want to use they don't want to use TiDB as a SQL database. Maybe they want to use a NoSQL. They're a big fan of NoSQL. So I'm thinking this idea is I called it dbus on dbus. So, for example, you can actually build a gateway. Other users just give the open API token to this service, and this service use this TiDB Serverless API token to create the cluster under the hood. But this service will not expose the endpoint to the end user. It will create the proxy on top of the cluster just built. So the under hood, just basically you can think we use TiDB Serverless instance as the underlying storage engine, but to build a NoSQL interface and other a credential or authentication mechanism on top of the TiDB Serverless tier. So the idea is basically like we can build another database as a service platform on top of TiDB Serverless. Yeah, that's
Cool.
that's I think that's doable. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's totally
No.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Wilder the idea, the better. I mean, I'm going to have a slide on this a little later on. I mean, we're
Yeah.
having discussions on different types of ideas. Like edge computing that somebody already asked about on the Q&A. I don't want these discussion to limit like people's idea. These are just and this is all like a brainstorming. So if you have completely different area like in gaming, I think somebody posted a question like or made a comment on the Discord channel about like gaming. I mean that's completely appropriate, which is your imagination it wouldn't surprise me could be a lot more interesting and more innovative than ours. So don't let our discussion sort of limit you. uh, Shen, were you about to say something? I may have like cut you off, but
Yeah, not really. I was digesting those ideas. I think
right.
those are really exciting ideas.
Hmm.
And I just want to add one more point. It's like I just mentioned, in the
Hmm.
past, if you want to make any of this idea become realistic, you have to make tons of effort. But with TiDB serverless, we handle the heavy lifting, and you just consume what you want, and leverage the resource on the cloud, and everything can be so easy today. So don't think it's quite a challenging ideas to now. Just try it, and you will get good surprise.
Yeah, there are some questions that are coming, and thanks Renee and Winkwood like answering the question. There are questions coming about like a storytelling. Yeah, I mean this is the point is to have people give us a background in terms of how they came up with the inspiration for the idea, or even how you sort of approach the work. And this is where community members are going to vote and see which of the projects have interesting and compelling stories. So it's yeah, that's sort of the whole point of the award. It's just to have a more fun, rather than like a rather than like a technical competition. But there are people who tell very compelling, like, where the ideas came from and whatnot. So yeah, I mean that's why we want people to be creative and to come up with like interesting background, provide interesting background when you're submitting your projects. Um, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna like necessarily put you on the spot. Like one of the things that people talk about a lot these days is AI and ML. Like I wonder if the people can do some. I mean, I think Shane actually talked about like OpenAI integration earlier, but I wonder if there's something in the AI ML that people may be interested in. If you like a thought about how you tie that in with our serverless. So,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I can go first with this.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, Actually, I'm thinking maybe the LLM, large language model, is the most popular topic recently, and luckily we have a lot of like open source LLM model. So I'm thinking maybe I can create a chatbot. But this chatbot is just want to, for example, I can create a Telegram bot to send it into some interesting channels, just recording the people's conversation and storing all this the conversation and the chat history to TiDB Serverless. And I can use this kind of chat history to fine tune the real chatbot. So I'm saying fine tuning using the human data is very interesting. So I think TiDB can be the centralized storage that will make the data collecting easily. Yeah. So fine tuning open source LLM model with the data collected by a lot of different chatbots.
Hmm.
This is why I think.
No, that's cool.
And yeah, another interesting idea I'm keep thinking recently is um, you know it's a little bit about the prompt engineering. So when you use the LLM to you want to do some complicated job like I am not sure how many people heard L2 GPT before. I think I assume that maybe some of you may have already tried L2 GPT. Basically, it is a tool that break the complicated job into different stage or different small task and leverage the the OpenAI or ChatGPT to give you the plan and instruction, and you can execute the sub task or the instructions while some local agent like download the web page, doing summarize, and so I'm thinking maybe we can use TiDB integrate with like GPT, things like this. You use TiDB Serverless, integrate with um, LGBT to use TiDB as the storage engine for some, context or staging data. So I think that will be that would be helpful to, for example, if something wrong with some, sub uh, task, or you can actually use TiDB as uh, the story to do the small fix, and make sure the whole process will not blocked by some failure in the middle. So yeah, yeah, some idea, yeah.
Yeah, no, nice. Cool. Yeah. I think like one of the, I guess another question that I want to ask you, Ed. People may have seen this. We have, a lot of judges for this hackathon event. I mean, obviously you're one of the judges.
Right.
We have people both from PinCap and also people from outside of PinCap, like companies like Vercel that I mentioned and Momento. But as one of the judges, like if you're evaluating a submission from this event, like what are some of the things like will you be looking for? I
Hmm.
think that will be very helpful for the participants too, the people that are listening in. Mm.
To me, the more creative, the better. So to me, I'm actually the big fan of some, crazy idea.
Mhm.
So if your idea is crazy, it can, to me, it's like, hey, that's why I cannot think like this way.
Mhm.
That will be super cool. Another aspect I really appreciate is the you know uh, sometimes the idea is important, but the actual implementation, the quality is also very important, right? So
Mhm.
if you can have a application already is actually working, and is super stable, or with a good quality, I think that would be also very important. Yeah, that's to me, that's the two aspect. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I think we all sort of mentioned it in different ways. Like, creativity that's why we don't want people to be encumbered by some of the ideas we discussed. And obviously that, you know, uh, idea alone is not going to sort of win you the award, if you will. Like the functionality and completeness of the work is again, that's something that I'm sure like a lot of other judges on the judging panel share your sentiments. So, but
Yeah, I can add some comment about, yeah,
yeah.
I'm thinking another aspect I also uh, I think that is important, which is um, sometimes I want to, for example, I just mentioned I'm a big fan of the CLI tools, or some, the small handy tools that can actually help the engineers in their everyday job. So yeah, I'm big fan of, people can create some tools to improve the usability of the product. Yeah, so that's why I emphasize, hey, we have open API, and it is welcome to create the better, tools with good developer experience. So that's, to me, that's a very interesting aspect. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm scanning through the Q&As to make sure that I think we answer all the questions so far. And again, I want to thank like Renee and Wing for helping answer a lot of the questions. I mean, I think the storytelling award, or maybe both of the incentive awards, maybe we need to be. Yeah, I think that's an improvement area that we can work on. We can make that a little bit more clear what the criteria is. It's meant to be more of a fun thing for the community, so people can sort of vote on ideas or conversations. So appreciate people's feedback. If a lot of people are asking questions about that, that's obviously something that we need to work on. So we'll definitely try to improve that. Um, oh, I wonder if we lost. Uh, it looks like we may have lost Ed. And there's one more question that came in. Oh, so there's a question on Discord. I'll get the link to you in a few seconds. Actually, let me show you the slide where we talked about Discord. This is a link. Oops, sorry. But yeah, and then you can also find the Discord link on the that post page as well. But oh, thanks Renee for answering that too. So cool. Yeah, unfortunately, so like Shin or Ed, oh, anything else in terms of ideas or thoughts? Uh, we can start to sort of wrap up the webinar, but Shin or Ed, anything else you might want to add here? Feel free to jump in here.
Right. I think that's well, just one thing. I thanks for sharing this slide. I was trying to say I'm actively monitoring our Discord group, and I believe
Mhm.
we do have a dedicated channel for ideal discussion.
Mhm.
You guys can find me there, and then if
All
you
right.
need any suggestions, any guidance, or any FAQ around TiDB serverless, I will more than happy to help there.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean there are people, in Asia Pacific and also in the West Coast of the U.S. that are sort of that are monitoring our Discord channels. So, maybe you won't get an answer like right away, but I mean, I think we have decent worldwide coverage to be able to sort of help with your questions. So, okay, let me sort of advance through the slides. Yeah, and this is sort of the disclaimer that I provided earlier. Is that I mean I think Ed and Shen's is shared probably about up to like dozen ideas, but don't be limited by what we talked about. I want like Ed said, we want people to be creative. So these are just mere suggestions, and if you have a completely different idea uh, that you are very passionate about or interested in, I mean, feel free. Just don't be limited by what we talked about today. And if you want like to run some of the ideas by us, I mean, you can even DM us on Discord, and happy to sort of look at those as well. And then, oh, just one thing. Sorry, the quality isn't that great. I referenced this earlier. We have another meetup. Shin is going to be a speaker with the VP of Developer Experience at Vercel, Lee Robinson. Uh, Shin talked about OSS Insight, but we're also working on another a project called OSS Insight Lite, which allows you to build your own personal GitHub dashboard. I know many of you contribute to a lot of different open source projects on GitHub, so this allows you to sort of build your own portfolio, if you will. And then Shin and Lee are going to sort of walk through how you can do that with OSS Insight Lite, and then obviously feature our serverless technology or features. So feel free to get more in-depth like discussion of building your own dashboard using TiDB serverless and also with Vercel. So Shin, thanks for doing this also like next week, and we're looking forward to that. So
Oh, another interesting trial related to this project is maybe we can, anyone from the community can use the same idea but replace the data. In OS Inside Lite, we are actually using the GitHub data, but
Mhm.
the same idea can also apply to Web3 data, or maybe you can put, Ethereum or Bitcoin data into TiDB Serverless and build your own
Right.
dashboard. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like GitHub activities. That's a good point. So cool. All right. Yeah. So if you want to see how this was like developed and get more in depth look into how this was done, it's about a little less than a week from now because it's going to be in the morning time in the US, but hopefully people can join us. And again, this will be live streamed and also posted on YouTube. So even if you can't like register and attend, that's you'll be able to watch the video after the event. So. Cool. Making sure that we have no more questions or comments. I'm going to pause here for a bit so that people can sort of type in their questions. I don't want to just cut it off too quickly. I mean, I certainly appreciate, it's difficult to find the right time to do meetups for a worldwide audience. So, I'm sure there are people who had to sort of join us like early in the day or late in the day, depending on where you are. But appreciate people joining. I saw like 30 plus people at the peak, so I appreciate everybody's time and also your questions. So cool. I guess there are no more questions. Shin and Ed, thanks for joining and presenting today, and also to my colleagues that help with questions and so what I'll do is I guess I'll just wrap things up here. Like I said, if you happen to join us late, the recording will be available on YouTube. And the link to the video should be posted on both on Discord or if you're on our Slack channel, the Slack channel as well.